Hey, there we go. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to The Cut. I am your host, Anthony Oquendo, and I have my co-host, Tom Roth. Say what's up, Tom.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you are new to the channel, please check out some of our other videos. But today we are going to get right to it. We appreciate you joining us. We're going to talk about a couple different things today, and we are going to kick it off with where do we want to start, Tom? We want to start with right here at the top of this list.
Yeah, I think maybe starting with Project Veritas, James O'Keefe might be something cool today, especially with the upcoming election and people's feelings on Joe Biden. Maybe we get a little bit of insight into what his people think of him.
Yeah, like people in his circle.
People in his circle, but also there's the conception that Joe Biden's kind of losing it and he's getting dementia, he's weak. Well, how allegorical is it that someone, which we'll see in a little bit, his circle might be weak and not by design? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, hold on. Let me I'm on the wrong page here, so I gotta kind of get myself situated. Okay, I think we can start right here. So we're just going to take a quick look at this. We're gonna take a look at the beginning. We don't need to watch the whole thing because it's like a 13-minute video. But here, let's just take a quick look at this intro. Let's roll it.
So you're pretty high up in the government.
Yeah, I'm fairly high up. I'm good at keeping secrets, and so I manage 2 federal agencies, the State Department and USAID.
So when you say it's like security, like you're protecting
the networks of the federal agencies
You're
that you give all your information to.
the mission is to protect
Yes.
information.
We are like the president's voice when we go into meetings in terms of discussing and promoting the president's priorities.
Is he going to be the nominee?
Yes. And she will be the vice president, not me.
Yeah, I don't.
There was a debate about removing her from the ticket, but sadly they didn't. She can't keep black staff. They quit on her in mass.
But with him, I
know.
he's got dementia.
Yeah, well, he's definitely slowing down.
But they know that he has those issues.
I think so.
But they're not willing to say it.
Shows. And,
they're not willing to say it publicly.
And same thing
but
with
why
Kamala
not?
Harris. She's not popular, but you can't remove the first black lady to be vice president from the goddamn presidential ticket. Like, what kind of message are you going to send to, like, African American voters? How would you spin that? People would be like, what the fuck? Like, she's a woman and she's multiracial. I think that they're really concerned about this.
But they won't say it. Well, I guess if they say it publicly,
correct.
That Biden is they can't say it publicly.
No, they got to
Do they
toe
say
the
it
line.
privately? But they won't say it publicly.
Correct.
That Biden is they can't say it publicly.
No, they got to
Do
toe
they
the
say it
line.
privately? I mean,
I'm just telling you what I've heard. Like, yep.
You're just telling me the truth.
Does it make sense? No, but that's what I've heard. I've had a meeting with Michelle Obama at one point when I was an intern, and someone asked her, will you ever run for office? And she said no, emphatically.
Really?
I've seen all the shit my husband has had to go through, and that does not interest me. People would be like, well, I don't think we should have to get the vaccine. I'm like, like, you're not going to get the vaccine, and then you're going to go expose my family in the hospital to your vaccinated COVID. Like,
so you work in cybersecurity for the White House, and my question is, what are you doing on a meeting with James O'Keefe? What type of cybersecurity operation are you guys running over there?
we're running a good cybersecurity operation.
Obviously not.
Exposed.
That's crazy.
All right, so there you see
crazy.
it. James O'Keefe is on a meeting with what does he say? He was a director.
He's like the cybersecurity director. Basically, he is the voice for the president's priorities, as he says a couple more times in that video. I found it very, very interesting during that the front that James O'Keefe put on, because you see when he takes off the glasses, his voice gets a little deeper. Like it was almost like Clark Kent taking off the glasses, like a Superman type reveal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
like,
man,
and it's almost like I was watching it and it was like, is this the guise of like being on a date? You know what I mean? Because like they're sitting with each other and James O'Keefe is not talking in his normal voice. You know, it's kind of feminine. It's, you know, that kind of thing. So I was like, was it like a guise of being like a date, like maybe like a Tinder date or something?
I think
just
that
like getting to know each other.
I think that's possible. I'm
Absolutely.
familiar with him doing that in the past.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, yeah, it is a little bit untoward, but I mean, at the same time, though, it gets them to open up more. It sparks the discussion and really molds it in the direction that Mr. O'Keefe wants to go in. But the big thing that I took away from this was one thing kind of really upset me during that. And it's what he said, not James O'Keefe, but the young man he's interviewing says. And it was like, you can't remove the first goddamn black lady from office. What's it going to say to the African American voters? And that kind of angered me because it's like, by you saying that, you're implying that the only reason she's there is because she's A, black, and B, a woman. Like, it absolutely would say to the African American voters that just because you are these things doesn't qualify you to be good at what you do. So, and like, it was dangerous for him to say that, in my opinion, because it was fucked up.
It was dangerous for, I would say, the Biden position.
That's what that's what I'm trying to like substantiate.
But
there,
I would absolutely 100% agree that is why she's in the position she's in. Because
absolutely.
if you look at the numbers from 2020 during the polling, the debates, everything, she did not do well at all. I was actually, a lot of people were mildly surprised that she even got the nomination for vice president because of how bad she did. Like, she was coming in last in everything.
I thought he was going to appoint Michelle Obama, to be honest with you.
I honestly think she would have. I think the people would have been happier. I know people on the left that weren't even happy that she was on the ticket for vice president.
I forgot that Kamala Harris was our vice president, to be honest with you. I mean, think about when Barack Obama was in office. Joe Biden was everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, he was present, and even there was a show, a sitcom. It was called Parks and Recreation. I don't know if you're familiar.
No.
It was like kind of like an office style show, and the main character played by Amy Poehler, her character Leslie Knope, famously had a crush on Joe. It was like her celebrity crush.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's in like 4 episodes of the show, like when she goes to Washington D.C. So what I'm getting at is like, he was a very popular, maybe not popular, but he was a very present vice president, and she just hasn't been. I thought she was going to be a lot more present in commercials and do a lot more for the isolated people, the minority groups.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I mean, right here, according to this cybersecurity director, whatever his position is,
mm-hmm.
right? According to the circles that he's in, they don't want her to be the nomination, the vice president.
But they won't take her off.
Right. But so maybe there's a reason she's not, you don't see her as much as you would see other vice presidents, because she just doesn't do the job. Maybe she's just as bad as everybody thought she was.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe she was just a pawn in the game to better Biden's chances with, the black vote.
Yeah, minority communities.
Vote, right?
Yeah.
Or the women, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely could have been, and it's sad because I think that whenever someone enters into a position of power, say what you will, but I mean, I truly don't think Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or any of these people come in with a malicious intent. I do truly feel that when they come in, they want to help our country in a way that they see fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that there's ever a malicious motive behind it. And I do think that maybe Kamala Harris had some good ideas. Maybe she did, and I'm not familiar, because I didn't vote for her or Joe Biden. But the thing is I really do think that maybe she did have some good ideas, and she just wasn't able to properly execute. And I mean, the onus is on her team to help coach her how to be better. and maybe she's just not responding to that coaching. Maybe she's incapable of doing so. But I just know that we can't have another 4 years of what we've had.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, she was supposed to be the border czar.
Yeah. Yes, she was.
Yeah.
And we
And
see how
now
that's
look where
going.
we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas is in shambles.
I don't know that Texas is in shambles. I think they're putting their foot down and doing what they believe is the right thing to do.
Sure.
But our border's in shambles.
Sure.
Our border is definitely in shambles.
And we touched on that last episode. So if you guys want to go back and take a gander, Anthony and I do go into Texas and we watch a video, and it's a very good interview. But proceed.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to get back to what you were saying about the whole race thing. So I mean, I am a person. I don't care what color you are. You could be green. I don't give a shit. Right. If you can do the job, I'm going to pick you based off your merits.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one thing that I hate about politics is, especially, and you see it mostly on the left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the right is more geared toward merit-based
accomplishments.
Yes.
Yeah.
And positioning.
The left is fueled on hopes and dreams.
The left is fueled on pandering.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
That's fair. We saw it with the Obama presidency. Obama pandered when we were college age to our generation. It was pandering.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference between Obama's left and the left that we have now is at least the pandering was effective. I feel the pandering was effective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
The pandering now is dog shit.
It's so blatant.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Absolutely.
But I mean, then again, I didn't pay attention to politics back then, or else maybe I would say it's blatant then too. But I feel like if she's not doing the job, I mean, you have to look the American people in the face and say, we understand you want her on the ticket. She checks these boxes. However, she's not the best person for the job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not like I feel America now is almost ran like a, and I'm going to use an analogy that you don't like, but America's almost ran like an NFL team now. Hey man, we got 6 boxes to check. You check 3 of those boxes. Maybe those other boxes will come in time, but you know what? Like right now, we're going to hire you to be our head coach, and you get a 4-year contract. And hopefully you check all 6 of these boxes by the time we're done. But we know you check these 3, but that's the problem. Rarely do all 6 boxes get checked over the course of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like a presidency. When I have a president, if there's 6 boxes to check, I need to know that those 6 boxes are checked right now. You know what I mean? Like if I'm voting for you to not only run our country, help my pocketbook, help the economy, help the infrastructure, but also make it so that America isn't a laughing stock, and which I truly feel that it is now. I feel America's been a laughing stock for a very long time. And it's because of the elected officials that we've put in place.
I would say almost the last 10 years. Yeah.
We have like an NFL coach, we have hoped that 6 boxes will get checked over the life of the contract. We feel good about the 3 boxes that are checked, but those other 3 boxes, even though they might seem minuscule in nature, even minuscule is very important when you're leading a country.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want another country to look at us and be like, well, they're in fucking shambles, so what can we do to fuck it up more? Because we need someone strong. And that's why I feel like I've always been in favor of like I don't think a president should be over 55 at the start of their term.
Oh, now you're thinking about age.
I'm thinking of age.
Okay.
I really don't. You need a president doesn't just speak to an older generation. A president needs to be able to speak to the 18 to 24 demographic, the 24 to 40 demographic. You know what I mean? Like they need to be able to make us feel good, but they also need to be effective at what they do. And I feel, and this isn't ageism here. This is just, the truth of the matter. Like even Donald Trump, I think Donald Trump was a great president. I I feel his policies were great over time. I didn't agree with them at first, but hey, it was what it was. But now I look at Joe Biden and it's like, this is just fucking embarrassing. And it really is, because the mental capacity isn't there. It's just not.
Well, the multi-million-dollar.
We're not there yet.
It's
We'll pause
I really think if we had a guy that was like 55, he's still coherent, he's still there, he can still relate to the younger generation while being able to speak to that older generation.
Yeah, I definitely think there needs to be. I can agree with you on that. I don't know that there needs to be an age limit, but I think you need to have somebody who's in tune with, the younger generations. Yeah, I mean, I can express my opinion. I think Vivek was a great candidate, but
Yeah.
that's a moot point because he dropped out of the race. But
Hopefully, if Donald Trump decides to run, or decides to run, he has decided to run. But if Donald Trump does become the Republican nominee, he takes Vivek. I feel like they would play well off of each other.
Yeah, I think they have very similar views. Just Vivek honestly reminds me, as far as his style, reminds me of Obama, which I really I don't agree with everything that Obama did, but he was a very articulate, smooth talking individual, and he wasn't like hot headed. Like he could have a conversation with anybody.
Well, there was a calm to him.
Yeah, there was a very calm,
Yeah.
peaceful demeanor.
And I think that as a president, you should be able to do that. Like, say what you will about Donald Trump. I mean, like I said, he was a good president, but Donald Trump was always foot on the pedal, man. Like, I'm going to tell you what I think. I don't give a shit what you think. Like, and I'm going to be unapologetic about it. And that's a good style, unfiltered. And that's a good style to have. But I don't think that Donald Trump possesses the wherewithal to have that eloquent moment where he's calm and
you know what? I disagree with you.
You do?
I disagree with you. If you ever look at some of his long form interviews, not his campaigns or his speeches, but if you look at his long form interviews, I've watched interviews with him, and he has very calm interviews. Very calm interviews.
Okay.
Where he can actually, where somebody's willing to sit down and have a conversation with him and not attack him. Maybe ask him tough questions, but not attack him. He actually has very calm interviews and is very respectful. And I mean, it's not to the level of Obama or Vivek.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's there. He can definitely hold a conversation and with and have that respect. But yeah, I think I mean, just getting back to what we were saying as far as like the age and whatnot. I mean, I think I honestly, I'm not even sure that Biden's awake behind his eyes most of the time. I mean, just in the past week, there are like 3 clips where he's just mumbling through words during some of his campaigns, and you don't even understand what the hell he's saying, but the crowd just,
It's wild.
and I'm like, what are you even cheering for? Do you even know what the hell he just said?
I don't think he even knows what he just said.
I don't think he
That's
knows
the
what
sad part.
But that's what I'm
Like,
saying. I don't think he's awake most of the time. So I'm really curious if he's really even the one behind the, running calling the
I hope
shots.
that motherfucker isn't the one that we view, because he said he speaks for the president's priority. I really hope that ain't the dude, because he couldn't even recognize James O'Keefe.
But there are rumors that maybe Michelle Obama will be taking up the presidency, the Democratic nomination for president.
Yeah, but she said that she wouldn't run.
That was years ago, though. People change their mind.
Yeah,
Donald
people
Trump said years and years ago that he
we
wouldn't
watched
run.
that interview. Remember?
Yeah, he said he
one of
wouldn't
our
run.
past reaction videos that we did.
Yeah.
We watched the interview where he said he would never run for president.
Right.
Yeah.
Now look at him.
Now look at him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, since we're on the topic of Trump, I mean, we can move on to one of our next topics, which would be
Talking about Donald Trump, yeah.
yeah, I mean, he has his civil fraud case in New York going on right now, and we are pending a ruling by the judge to see how much he's actually liable for in his fraud case. The district attorney, Letitia James, seeking $370 million.
Jesus fucking Christ! I thought the 83 million was a lot.
Yeah,
Miss Jane
yeah,
or Jean, whatever the fuck her name is.
E. Jean Carroll.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you seen the interview, the most recent interview with her?
No, I have not.
Oh my gosh, I gotta play this because
Please do.
this was let me slide over so I can actually play it for everybody. Eugene, just go to Twitter.
We said it earlier, but it's just still so funny to me. Like, it hasn't turned over to X.com yet or something. Like, but I imagine, X.com is probably like a porn website or something. You know?
Probably. Oh, here we go. All right, so let's
money. You're about to...
Let's pause it real quick. So look how. So we'll get to the civil fraud case here in a second. But
Jesus Christ.
Let's let me make sure.
She looks like Goldie Hawn in one of the Sister Wives Club or whatever that fucking movie was.
Listen to how uncomfortable. Just watch her lawyers and watch the host of this. So this is I think it's Rachel Maddow. It is. Just watch how uncomfortable Rachel and her lawyers are.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be? What that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
Instantly, the lawyer on the left. There's actually some issue going on with the lawyer on the left. That's, I forget her first name, but her last name is Kaplan, and the judge who presided over the case. His last name is Kaplan, but apparently they have no relation as far as like family ties. However, this is kind of off subject, but there are concerns, and there have been motions made by Trump's lawyers. Apparently, her and the judge were they worked at the same law firm for about 2 years. So there's concerns of conflict of interest, but that's neither here nor there. But watch how concerned these lawyers look when she starts talking. Look at them already. They're like, oh shit.
The one on the right's like,
oh, that's it. Oh, that's the.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours, Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France?
Rachel's like, nope, I don't want any part of that shit.
No? Oh.
It's just wild. Like, she fought so hard and struggled through this, and then she's awarded these monetary damages for what she says was such a serious thing that happened to her, and now she's making light of it with a joke, dude. Like, that just to me like discredits her completely. Like, I mean, I wouldn't make a fucking joke out of that.
Let's see.
All right. Okay.
That's a joke.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Although if me fishing in France could do something for women's rights, I would take the hit. You know, I would obviously take one for the team. All right, let me as if you need persuasion in that regard. Let me finish with a final question. You've
all right, and she follows up with asking her like, if you could go after him for more money. Let's say he opens his mouth and defames you again. Would you go after him for more money? She's like, absolutely. Absolutely, I would go after him for more money. So is it all about the money? I think it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but can you honestly sit here and say it wouldn't be for you?
No, I mean, does she want the closure? Or does she want the money?
Fuck, I'll never close anything if I keep getting money, dog.
I guess.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, I mean, that's life-changing money.
But, I mean, let's get back to the civil fraud case. And so $370 million is what the DA is seeking. And they're trying to ban him from doing business in New York State ever again.
Why?
Fraud.
Fraud's committed every day.
Listen, all right, so
like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Like, I'm not saying that I engage in fraud. I don't think you engage in fraud, but I mean, businessmen engage in fraud. I mean,
Yeah, but all right. So here's the thing, though.
Part of the American dream.
So this whole thing is for overvaluing his assets. Overvaluing his assets to get better rates on loans. But here's the thing. Within his contract, there's a clause that basically states for these banks, don't take our word for it. Do your own due diligence, value them at whatever you think they're worth, and then, we can negotiate.
So that's clearly stated in there.
It is.
Without a shadow, like there's no misinterpretive where that can be misconstrued, nothing like that. It's laid out like that. It's basically laid out as, hey, he can say whatever, it's worth whatever you want, but you shouldn't take him at his word. You should do your own research. You should engage in that. So these guys are just fucking idiots.
Listen,
I'm listening.
I'd have to really look for it because this was a while ago that they even. I mean, this has been an 11-week case or 11-week trial.
Go up, right there.
What's Trump? Trump put in a clause that says if they agree to 2,000 checks, Dems also agree.
Oh no,
no, that's not it. I'd have to really look for it. Maybe we'll put it in another video. But yeah, so there was in the contracts. It was, but I mean, either way, I mean, it's the bank's responsibility to do their own due diligence and make sure that they're not over lending money. You know, the loan. Actually, you know who put it in great terms? Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank.
Okay. Yeah.
And actually, I have this video already queued up, so we can actually just pop right over to this and watch this. So he's asked about this whole situation and his thoughts, and this is what he says.
Well, the multi-million-dollar question tonight, will Donald Trump be barred from New York's luxury real estate business and forced to pay perhaps $370 million for falsifying financial records? Here to break it all down and what's at stake, Shark Tank judge and chairman of O'Leary Ventures. Some call him Mr. Wonderful. We'll call him Kevin O'Leary tonight. Kevin, thank you for being here today. I have to ask you, I mean, look, some people look at all this and they say, is this what happens in business, what Trump has said he's done or is accused of being done? You've been doing real estate for decades. Does this case strike you as odd?
Well, let's leave out Trump for a minute and let's leave out politics and just talk about what happens in real estate development anywhere. So if you're a developer and you've got a building on a block anywhere in America and it's worth, let's say, $500 million and you want to build a building right beside it, you go to the bank and say, this building is worth $500 million. I'd like to borrow a construction finance loan against this asset. And I want you to tell me it's worth $500 million too. And the bank negotiates with you and says, well, no, we think it's worth $400 million. And you fight it out. You're always trying to show your assets in the brightest light with the sunshine you could possibly determine for them. You want them to be worth the very most because you're only going to get a 40 or 50% loan to value, as it's called. Then you borrow that money. In the case of a $500 million asset, maybe you get $250 million, and you build a new building with a construction finance loan. And so that's what this case is all about. And by the way, forget about Trump. Every single real estate developer everywhere on earth does this. They always talk about their asset being worth a lot, and the bank says no. And that's just the way it is. So in this case, when I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not pro or con, or I don't care about the politics, who lost money? Nobody. The bank got paid back the construction finance loan, and a new building was built. And if you're going to sue this case and win, you got to sue every real estate developer everywhere. This is all they do. This is what they do all day long, every day. So I don't think this thing will ever survive appeal, regardless of what the fine is. This doesn't even make sense. Now, look, I know Trump's got a lot of problems in other indictments and everything else, but this, if you're a real estate developer, you're watching this, you're saying, what is this? This is ridiculous.
Well, you know, the thing is, most people who are in this world are not real estate developers, and they necessarily don't know that this is the way maybe things are done, even if it might be violative of the law. But the question about who loses money, and I've heard this argument, and he's raised this argument, and others have raised this argument, that who's the real victim here? How about the facts that you can get a tax benefit for having overvalued or having a different value that's actually normal? Doesn't that deprive the state of revenue? Is that enough, do you think? I know you're laughing,
You better
but
get ready to...
rich people problems are very different than my world. Go ahead.
I mean, I get it. I totally get it. And you're making a valid point. But it's humorous in the sense that you have to sue every single real estate developer here in Miami, in Chicago, in Los Angeles, in Detroit, in Dallas. This is what they do every day. This is what the real estate game is all about. It's getting construction financing against stabilized assets. When a building is fully leased out and everybody's renting it and you've got offices or you've got apartments in it, it's called a stable asset. And you value it and you go to the bank and say, this asset is worth $500 million. And I want to borrow $250 million against it. And the bank always negotiates with you. Everybody understands how this works. And that's why I think it's going to be very, very hard to make this stick in reality later. This is not, of all the things that Trump's being accused of and being litigated for and indicted for, this is not his problem.
All right. So, I mean, I think he said it great. I mean, she makes a valid point as far as the taxes, but I mean, that's the way real estate is done. If
That's the way
I
any
were
business is done.
Exactly. If I were to go sell my business right now, I would put what I think it's valued at.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to come in and say, not so much.
Yeah. I mean,
And then
it's
we're
just
going to
like car
negotiate.
sales.
I was going to say, and it's like selling anything. You can sell a fucking, if you sell, I don't know, if I go sell this microphone on Facebook for, $150, $200, somebody's gonna be like, I'll give you 150 or, I'll give you 125 and we'll negotiate.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I see it every day with car sales, man. Like, we put our vehicles out there at MSRP at sticker when people are still marking them up. And, a Chevy RST truck like I have out there sells for $58,000. I'll give you 55 for it. Well, based on what? Well, that's what I'm willing to pay. Well, why are you willing to pay that? Well, it's what I can afford in my budget. Okay, cool. Well, that truck is valued at $58,000, or you can go to X car dealer in Chardon and they have it at $65,000. Same exact truck.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? I know you're not going to pay the $65,000.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're not going to pay the $58,000. So let's work together. Let's see what we can do to work something in our budget. Or used cars. Hey, I got it listed out there for 22. I want to be at 19. Well, I understand that you want to be at 19, but look at what I did to it in service. New tires, new brake pads, new rotors.
And then as far as her point with the whole taxes, like I said, she makes a good point.
Yeah.
She makes a good point.
Understand.
Now, all right, now let's say he's valuing his property at $500 million, right? Or $500,000.
Yeah.
And then, for the loans, which I mean, it's a business game. And then he goes and files his taxes, and he's like, no, it's only worth, I don't know, 250.
Yeah.
So he's cutting the value of it in half. So now he's paying taxes on the 250 instead of the 500. I mean, it's a fucking business game. I mean, who's to really say how much these assets are worth? They're all made up numbers.
It's
based
all what
on the
someone's willing to
market.
pay for it. Exactly.
Based on the market.
It's the market. Housing market.
The real tangible amount. So, yeah, I mean, all right, how much is this piece of wood? How much did this nail cost? I mean, you really have to fucking break it down at that point.
Yeah. I mean, you really do. And it's sales and, I mean, real estate, all of it, it's such a volatile market right now. And it really is what someone's willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like you said, you're going to, you want to sell your business hypothetically. I value it at $2 million. Let's just throw an arbitrary number out there. Well, the guy that wants to buy your business, I think it was more $750,000. Okay, I understand that's what you want to pay, but let's find a middle ground that's going to work for the both of us. And that's just how things work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't disagree with what Donald Trump was doing. I think that he's being unfairly demonized, as he's been for years, with basically any aspect of what he's tried to do, any business venture. And let's call a spade a spade. America is a business venture.
So
that's what America is now.
So they're saying that he defrauded these banks.
No, he didn't defraud the banks. The banks didn't do their due diligence.
Not only that, they got paid. They got paid the money back.
There's a thing called interest.
Yeah, and they made money.
Exactly.
Right.
There's
So
a thing called
money.
interest.
But here's the other thing. Is he being charged for defrauding the banks, or is he being charged for defrauding the taxpayers?
I think that's a very, very good question. And I think when you dissect it a little bit, they're trying to say he defrauded the American people and taxpayers, but there's nothing to really substantiate
because
that.
they're saying that he overvalued his assets.
Dude, I overvalue my shit every day. I ain't
The
defrauding
only way,
anybody.
I mean, you're not gonna defraud the American. You're not gonna defraud the taxpayer by overvaluing your asset.
No, if anything, you're helping inflate. Correct?
Right.
Yeah. You're helping inflate.
So I'm not sure.
Sellers make more profit when you overinflate because then they do a like comparison.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe that real estate developer down the road has a similar building. Oh, well, Mr. Trump's doing 500 million. I mean, I value mine at 350, but I mean, I'm only 10,000 square feet off. I could probably do 450.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's helping them.
Yeah, it's called comps.
It's comps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting how when it's Donald Trump, it's bad, but if it were some other famous real estate developer, it'd be genius. You know what I mean? Or he isn't doing anything wrong. Come on, he's just trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's crazy how in this country, our standard, we have such a double standard when it comes to people. If we don't like someone, we're gonna discredit them immediately.
Think it has to do with party?
It definitely has to do with party, Anthony. Everything has to do with party. Everything has to do with party anymore, and it's crazy because there are good people on the left. There are very good people on the left, but they get unfairly characterized into this stuff because there are people on the left who have made it that way, to be viewed in such a way. You know, like, people drag Barack Obama's name through the mud all the time, but what did he do that was so bad? What did he do? You know what I mean? But he's on the left. He's a fucking asshole.
No,
but
I mean he
why?
did a lot of dirty shit. He done. I mean, we can get into that another time, but there are a lot of things that he did that I'm not cool with.
I understand, but I mean, like, there's also a lot of shit that Donald Trump did that people shouldn't be cool with.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't agree with everything Donald Trump did either.
I'm not going to sit here and say I love Barack Obama. He was the greatest guy in the world, but I mean, I did like him. It's just
about
I feel
4 weeks
that people
ago, the East
just
Palestine mayor.
people employ blanket statements too much, and it's because of the rise of social media. People are allowed to make blanket statements now, whereas back in the day, people in power had to substantiate our blanket statements. Now there's no accountability to substantiate blanket statements. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, everything can be fact checked.
Everything can be fact checked.
So yeah, I would. I mean, it's a lot harder to. There was something that happened just recently that I'm trying to think of what it is. That like if it happened nowadays, it'd be easily provable. But
the moon
back
landing.
when it happened, there's no way to go back and like read their Facebook, their timeline.
Yeah.
And be like, oh yeah, they're lying or they're telling the truth. So, but yeah, you can't really make blanket statements.
Yeah, but I mean, you can make blanket statements, and I just feel like there's a lack of accountability anymore, though. Yeah, you can fact check it, but people don't care if it's fact checked. They'll still die on the hill. They'll die on the hill, man, even though if it's been proven that it was unsubstantiated.
Yeah, I think it's very important to where if you're wrong, admit it.
Yeah, I had no problem admitting when I'm wrong on something, man. I've been
I
wrong
don't.
more times than I've been right.
I don't either. I like whenever I'm proven wrong. I mean, I don't like it. It doesn't fucking feel good. But I'm like, okay, I understand it. I see it from a different perspective.
point of view now.
And I'm like, I learned something.
Yeah. It's
I learned
important to
something.
learn things, man. Like, I feel like our country now is so resistant to learning shit. Like, I feel like we've actually become dumber as a country in the past 4 years, 4, 5, 6 years. I mean,
10. I would say 10.
Why is ignorance celebrated now? Why is mediocrity celebrated now? If you want more, you're greedy. And I don't agree with that. I'm just not cool with that line of thought.
All right, so let's jump on to the next one. All right, so
Let's go. We're gonna ride the train.
we are
as
gonna
it
ride
were.
the train on to the next one.
Yeah.
And pun intended here. So we are going to move on to something that's a little closer to home for us, for sure. We're going to talk about East Palestine, Ohio. The 1 year anniversary is coming up on that.
It is.
And I'm trying to find a video that I watched yesterday. That give me 2 seconds to search for this because I thought it was pretty interesting. It was a montage. Is this it? No, this can't be it. No, that's not it. All right. That's not it. All right. So here. All right. So it's been about a year. I haven't watched this video here. So maybe we'll take a quick look at it. Let me cue it up. We'll put that one first. All right, so it's been about a year since the train derailment in East Palestine, and Joe Biden has yet to go to East Palestine and talk to the residents and do anything about this. I don't even think he's mentioned the word, but maybe the town maybe a handful of times.
Yeah, he's mentioned. I mean, I remember when it happened. He
mentioned it, but only a handful of times. Like I haven't heard of any action that's been supposed to been taken or anything like that out of his mouth, at least. So the press secretary, KJP, Karine Jean-Pierre, she's been asked about this numerous times over the last year, and he said that he would go out there. Back when this first happened, he said that he would go out to East Palestine, and that was right after it happened. And then she was asked about it several times over the coming months after the derailment. And every time they say, yes, we're going to go out there. Yes, we're going to go out there. Yes, we're going to go out there. Well, it's been rumored that he is finally going to go out there on the 1 year anniversary. But now this video that we're about to watch, I believe, says otherwise. Okay. So I'm curious to see how this goes. So let's take a look at this.
Next month, when the president is in East Palestine, will he drink the water there?
I mean, look.
Oh, so this is about
what
the
I
water.
can tell you is the president's focus has been to do everything that he can to support this community from day one. We get what's going on the ground. We understand what's going. That's why we've had the EPA. That's why we had DOT. That's why we had HHS. That's why we've had FEMA on the ground. This is not about some sort of like political stunt here. This is not what this is about. This is about this president being a president for everyone and showing up for this community.
More than a year later.
That's what this is about. I'm not going to get into some sort of political stunts about drinking water. What we're going to focus about is
short
making
answer,
sure they
no,
have
he
what
won't
they
drink the
need.
water.
And the president was
here's the
invited
thing,
by
bro.
the mayor,
Like
by community
just think
leaders.
about this
He's
right
going to show
quick.
up. He always said he would be
If
there when it was the
he
most
went and he didn't drink the water after
when the
she said that he
president is
would,
in
he'd
East
be more of an
Palestine.
asshole. So I don't think that I don't think that that's a fair question to ask. Like, I understand water's like the big thing, but I mean, what if he went and didn't make a spectacle about drinking the water? You know what I'm saying? Then he'd just be an asshole.
Yeah.
So I just think questions like that are kind of I think they're corny. Do you get what I'm saying?
No. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I disagree with you. I mean, it's a valid question. Like, do you have enough trust in the way it was handled to go there and take a sip of the water?
Well, I mean, like, what's he supposed to do? Like, go over to the river and like dunk a glass in there and drink it?
Imagine how fucking powerful that would be if he did that. If he did that, says, I trust my administration to handle this situation so much that I'm willing to come here, drink straight out of the river.
That would be powerful.
That
bro,
would
but
be
it also be fucking
powerful.
stupid.
It wouldn't be stupid. I mean, if he really trusts his administration and the people that he puts in place that much, the people in East Palestine would be like, damn.
But would you go to Lake Erie and drink out of there?
Hell no.
Exactly.
Hell no.
It's a fucking body of water that hasn't been like put through like filters and shit like that, man. I wouldn't do that.
That's a lot different than a river.
Case in point, I wouldn't go to Maple Ridge golf course, hole 4, where the lake's behind. I wouldn't go and dunk a water bottle in there and drink.
No,
you know what I mean?
But
like,
I don't think they mean straight from the river, but straight from the tap, right?
Yeah.
If he
that's
went
gonna
up
be
to
filtered.
Would he drink it?
I would hope he would.
You would hope so, right?
I don't think there's anything to be afraid of.
You don't know.
Those mongoloids down there are drinking it right now.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of people are having health issues down there in East Palestine.
I mean, it is East Palestine. It's like the armpit of Ohio. I mean, it's worse
I didn't
than
even know it
Conneaut.
existed, and I'm only like 45 minutes away from it.
Yeah, we're pretty close to it. I'd like to go down there. We should do a episode of The Cut.
Actually, that's a fucking good idea, Tom.
Sweet-ass idea.
I thought about that the other day when I was listening to a
That'd be
podcast.
sweet.
We actually should probably fucking do that. All right. So that's not what I was really looking for. But anyhow, so let's take a look. Since it's been almost a year, the mayor of East Palestine was, I guess he was asked if
Biden's invited.
Yeah, like, is he inviting Biden? Like,
is Biden invited to the cookout?
It was, yes, more or less. And let's see, this is 56 seconds, and this is what's the mayor has to say.
That man looks like the poster boy of white privilege.
Yeah.
You know, about 4 weeks ago, the East Palestine mayor released a statement about this possibly happened. The president is always welcome to our town, he said. That being said, I don't know what he would do here now. We're going on a year and nothing from the White House. The best time for him to come would be February of 2025 when he's on his book tour. Kelly Saberi of Fox Business caught up with him after the news today. Take a listen.
That was clever.
I wrote a letter to him about a month ago saying that, you know, I think he needed to come. And
that's the mayor?
I was gracious in the letter. I think he needs to see what's going on here.
Do you still stand by that comment about the book tour?
I 100% stand by the comment about the book tour.
That man goes to the local municipal golf course and pounds Coors Lights.
Joe Biden, that's the best time for Joe Biden to come. I think the best time for him to come would have been whenever this happened.
So the mayor making his feelings clear. You know, about 4.
Wow, that
mayor
was
looks
the
badass.
mayor.
That mayor's awesome. I want to have.
Oh,
a
I
beer
didn't
with
even.
him.
Nobody even saw that. I don't even know if anybody saw that. I'm gonna go back. Let's watch that again.
That was sweet.
Let's watch that again.
4 weeks ago,
We'll just we'll
I
pause
wrote
it
a letter.
right there, so everybody can see. I don't know if everybody saw that. I don't know if I was moved over, but look at that. That is the mayor of East Palestine. He is a guy. Look at him. That beard.
That man has town hall meetings at the local like wing joint. You know what I mean? That man's just slopping up some hot wings and a Coors Light,
Hey,
talking
good,
politics.
But
Good for him.
man, he stands by his comment about the book tour. That is that's for sure.
That dude is awesome.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah,
And
hell yeah, dude.
he said nothing from the White House, and it's been almost a year.
I love badass East Palestine mayor. That's his name.
That's from
His
Benny
title.
Johnson. Benny Johnson on Twitter, X. Yeah, man, I think that's a good idea. I really think we should go down to East Palestine one day.
Dude, we should eat. I'll get on email.
Let me, if anybody's even made it this far, hopefully you have. If anybody's even made it this far, if you think we should go to East Palestine, let us know in the comments. Like,
would love
if
that.
you guys would like to see that, I think we would go.
I would definitely go.
I think that would be a cool episode. Should we bring gas masks?
Bro, I'd bring a gas mask. I still have a gas mask from when I had like that bong attachment, you know what I mean? From when I was like 20. I would so bring that down. But I bring the bong too. Just like ask that mayor if he wants to hit it. That dude looks like he would.
Yeah,
I mean that weed's legal now, so I mean not that I partake, but I still have that thing.
But
I don't know where it's at. But dude, that'd be sweet if we like went down with like some gas masks and just like interviewed him like with gas masks on and be like, is it cool to take this off? How powerful would it be if like we stood there and like, can we have some tap water and then just drank it?
bro,
It'd be sweet. We'd be heroes.
I wouldn't drink it.
I would.
There
Fuck
you
it, what's
go.
gonna happen?
If you want us to go to East Palestine and Tom take a swig
Drink
of the tap water,
I'll do it.
fucking let us know in the comments.
But I need ice. You know what I mean?
It's
Like, I
gotta
need
be
ice in
chilled?
that. Like it's gotta be chilled.
Okay.
Like it's gotta be because that
Can it-
ice is gonna separate some of that shit
I was-
in there so I can see it.
I was
and at
gonna
least know what I'm getting into.
I was gonna ask you, would it be should the cubes, can they be frozen
Absolutely
tap water
not.
cubes?
Absolutely not.
Like
I
it's
need
gotta
them to
be like from Circle K.
I need like those ice chips, man, like that those bougie ass like freezers make that have like the little indent in them. You know what I mean?
With the hole through it?
Yeah, or like
the hospital ice?
like the circle ice. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
the
ice
sphere
ball,
that you
know?
put in like a brandy or
Yeah, Megan's cousin Miranda has a fridge that does that. I should like ask her to like get me one and like put it in a cooler and like bring it down there and just plop it into like a rocks glass and have him pour it in there. Or like pour like some bourbon in there and then the water on top to mix it. So then at least if it's on there, I won't see how shitty it looks. 'Cause
Maybe the
bourbon
alcohol
be
will
in
kill
there.
it.
Yeah, the alcohol might kill it. Like who knows? But I would definitely do it. Like if you guys want to see me drink water from East Palestine, I only need one. It can't come from you, Jahida, Megan, like family members, nothing like that.
No, we need at least 5 comments.
I need five comments saying,
that's it.
Tom, go down to East Palestine and drink the water. And I swear to God, I'll do it.
Dude.
We'll go down. We'll set up an interview.
We're
with
gonna
him.
need a GoFundMe for you after that.
Very well could. Very well could. But, you know, I got God on my side, man. I'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus is literally watching over me. I got him on my arm. So I'll be fine.
Mm-mm-mm.
But let's move from Ohio. Let's go east to the Blue Hen State. And let's talk about the shit going on with our boy Elon. We're using his website for a lot of our information. You know, Elon's a friend of the show, whether he knows it or not. We love his platform.
He's a fan of free speech. So
he's a fan of free speech. So I think he'd like us.
Indirectly, he's a fan of the show.
Yeah, indirectly he's a fan of the show. And the judges rule in Delaware that Elon Musk would not be eligible for a $55 billion payout if he decides to step down from Tesla. Now, Tesla,
I don't know if that's the stipulations or if
yeah, so let's clarify that a little bit, but introducing it a little bit, like, so Tesla is a publicly traded company, and the valuation of a company obviously changes. So 55 billion is set by him and the board, correct?
Yeah, I think there was yes. Okay, so let's we'll just transition over and we'll read this article from the Wall Street Journal.
Let's transition.
All right. So headline: Why Elon Musk's $55 billion pay package was struck down in court. Read it, Tom. Oh wait, we can't read it. We don't subscribe.
It's a paywall. But
we got. Oh, hold on. You know what? We can get around this. Let's see. We do copy, and
you know how to get around paywalls?
Oh, brother, do I? I gotta do some changing up real quick. Verifying, and then we can go reader format. Doesn't give me the whole story.
Oh, you asshole! I thought that was gonna work.
I thought it was.
You had me all excited.
It's not that it gets around the paywall; it just changes it. All right, so that's not gonna work. Let's find a different article real fast.
Reuters isn't behind a paywall, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
All right, so let's dive into this. So a Delaware judge has ruled
unfathomable $56 billion pay package. All right.
ruled that Elon Musk's or has tossed out Elon Musk's record-breaking $56 billion Tesla pay package, calling the compensation granted by the EV makers board an unfathomable sum that was unfair to shareholders. Musk's 2018 compensation package created 12 tranches of options, each equivalent at the time to 1% of Tesla's outstanding shares, potentially giving him a 12% stake in the automaker. Musk would receive no salary. Now, under the 10-year deal, Musk was eligible to win an options tranche every time Tesla hit a series of up to 12 targets. Those targets were tied to increases in Tesla's market capitalization in $50 billion increments, and to aggressive hurdles for revenue and EBITDA growth. Musk went on to hit all 12 targets, and the options are now worth $51 billion, accounting for the cost to Musk to exercise them. He still owns the options. While the potential size of the pay package was unprecedented, Tesla shareholders in 2018 approved it with 73% of the votes cast, excluding votes by Musk and his brother Kimball. At that time, Tesla was struggling to manufacture its Model 3 sedan, and critics believed Tesla would be unable to survive brewing competition from larger companies or competitors planning to launch their own electric cars. Tesla's stock market value was $53 billion when Musk's package was approved, and it surged by more than 2,000% to exceed $1.2 trillion in 2021, before retreating to more recently to $605 billion. An investor who bought and held shares when Musk's package was approved would currently be up to 1,000%. In Tuesday's ruling by Judge Kathleen McCormick of Delaware's Court of Chancery, Tesla shareholders who challenged the pay plan were directed to work with Musk's legal team on an order implementing the decision. It can be appealed to the Delaware Supreme Court once the parties agree on a final order and fees for the shareholders' attorneys. English major.
So what does that mean, Tom?
So basically what they're saying is, and I kind of see it. So in 2021, it hopped to $1.2 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's down to $605 billion. So I think what McCormick is saying is that as the stock prices and valuation of Tesla dynamically change, so in turn should Musk's payout dynamically change.
When was this agreement?
The agreement was set in 2018.
And it was a 10-year plan.
10-year plan. So it's interesting because his payout would be $55 billion. If the company is valued at $605 billion, that's like 15% of the company that he would get paid out. But he's not even a majority shareholder.
But I mean, it was looking at giving him a 12% stake, anyways.
Yeah, so 12% of 1.2 trillion. Let's see.
Mathing over here. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of zeros. Times how many percent? 30%?
0.12. Oh, no. 12%.
Fuck.
Was it 1.2 trillion?
Yes. And a 12% share?
12% share.
$144 billion.
Now, what's 12% of six? What was it?
605 billion. $12% of that. $72,600,000,000.
So I mean, he's getting shitted on by not even getting his 50.
Exactly. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, I mean, either way, he should get that. I mean, if that's part of the plan, I mean, because didn't he have this plan with the actual shareholders himself?
Yes, with the actual shareholders themselves.
Tossed out, Musk created 12 tranches of options, each equivalent at the time to 1% of Tesla's outstanding shares, potentially giving him 12% stake in the automaker.
But see, the interesting thing is Musk receives no salary. So
Yeah,
he doesn't
get
make a
paid.
profit until he steps down,
Yeah.
which is very interesting.
So it's not like he's making money doing this.
Yeah,
shit.
it's not like it's not like he's profiting. Well, he is profiting off of Tesla. Let's be honest.
by the
with
valuation
you.
of
By
Tesla.
the valuation of the company.
But he doesn't get that until he exits.
Until he exits.
So
So right now,
they hit all 12
he's not
targets.
making any money off of Tesla. He's making money on his other ventures like SpaceX and now X. I mean, and some others. I mean, he's still probably getting residual payouts from PayPal, which he helped pioneer. Did you know that?
He sold it. I don't know if he's getting residuals. He sold it though.
Does Elon Musk still get paid from PayPal?
To hit all 12 targets, and the options are now worth $51 billion, according. He still owns the options, while the potential size of the pay package was.
No, he doesn't make money off of PayPal, but he makes money on SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company. And there's talks that Musk might buy PayPal back. How fucking wild would it be that you built something and now you have to pay to have it back? You know what I mean? Like, you're just buying what you make.
I mean, he sold it.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it's just crazy. Like Steve Jobs didn't buy back into Apple. He was just given a seat back. He lost Apple.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting in and of itself. Like, if you guys aren't educated on that, I would look that up if I were you.
See, I don't know. So 73% of the votes cast, they approved the pay package.
Yeah, exactly.
Value is $53 billion. Target market value is $53 billion. It's worth $605 billion.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
That is nuts. But it's crazy that let's see.
The man is a genius.
And it surged by more than 2,000% to exceed 1.2 trillion before retreating more recently to 600. So it lost almost half its value.
Yeah.
Over the last 3 years.
But that's because other companies have started to get into the EV space. I mean, you got Rivian.
That's true.
I mean, Ford came out with the Ford Lightning. Ford came out with also the Mach.
A lot of these
Mustang.
manufacturers are bringing in.
Oh yeah, I mean, General Motors now they're bringing in the EV Silverado, the EV Blazer, the EV Traverse, Equinox. I mean, there's a whole space coming for
Honda's got
electric
EV,
vehicles.
yeah.
Honda's got the EV. I mean, Prius
But
is coming
you know
back.
what? But no, here's the crazy part too, though. A lot of them are shifting over to guess what chargers they're using?
Tesla's chargers. And it's not just that, man. I mean, there are adapters that you can buy if you're a General Motors that you can buy to put on top of a Tesla charging port that puts into a General Motors electric vehicle.
Tesla owns the space still.
And the crazy thing is, man, like I've seen Tesla. We had one at our dealership. We bought one from auction to try to sell. If you look at that
compared to another like a GM,
compared to the GM Hummer, which I've sold 2 GM Hummers.
Electric.
They're only electric.
Yeah.
Hummer is only an electric vehicle. Okay. That's it. I'm going to tell you right now, Tesla
shits on it.
No. Tesla's behind the 8 ball now, man. Tesla is so far behind. Like, yes, Tesla has the cool features. It can auto drive and you can watch Netflix. That's cool as fuck. But in terms of a vehicle, the GMC Hummer is, for my money, the coolest vehicle out right now. It does everything.
Like what?
So I went to Indianapolis a couple months ago in November. I sent you a couple pictures. I got to drive that Hummer on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And there's a mode on there called Watts to Freedom. You engage a couple things on the panel, put your foot on the brake, and then your foot on the gas at the same time, concurrently. There's a countdown on the screen, and when it's done, you take your foot off the brake, you go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
In a Hummer.
In a Hummer. The other thing you can do, there's a driving mode that you can enable. You enable it, and the turning radius goes from a 50-foot turning radius to a 37.3-foot turning radius. So the turning radius is comparable. You ever see those Buick Encores, those like tiny little egg-shaped Buicks?
Yes.
It turns the same turning radius as that. And there's a crab walk. So you're driving.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They put
it goes
the wheels
right
sideways.
in. Yeah, the wheel. So it has all those applications. Tesla's so far behind the 8 ball now, in my opinion, that I don't think it'll ever catch up. You can literally charge. If there's a power outage at your house, you can plug your charging port into the vehicle and power your home for 72 hours and still be able to drive if you need to. Not very far, but you can still do it.
There's some big batteries in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really. I mean, this could be
vehicle
for
weighs
another.
an insane amount of-
This is another subject, but I'm.
Yeah,
really
I went
curious-
off on tangent.
No, I was gonna say like this is another subject, but I'm really curious how eco-friendly electric cars actually are.
I don't think we're gonna see. I don't think that there's gonna be big strides right now, but I think in 10, 15 years, you're gonna see a big impact.
We've been making batteries for decades, bro,
We have been making batteries for
and they're
decades.
not very eco-friendly.
No, they're not. But I think that the technology is gonna evolve. I think it has to. I think it has to. But also at the same time, man, think about this. Would you rather be manufacturing batteries or would you rather be farming for fossil fuels?
You're doing the same either way. I mean, what are batteries made out of?
Yeah, but then you're burning that fossil fuel into the atmosphere. With a electric vehicle, you're not putting anything into the atmosphere, and you're negating the need for a oil change. You're negating the need for so much shit. On an electric vehicle, you don't get an oil change.
I understand.
So right there, you're eliminating that completely. And the waste, the disposal thereof. I mean,
I don't know enough to say which one's better overall. I leave that to the alleged experts. But it's curious to me because I see a lot of pros and cons on both sides.
yeah. Well, anytime you do anything, I don't care how great it is, there's going to be a con.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
there's a give and take either way.
There's always in anything that's worth having, there's a give and take.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, let's extrapolate on a give and take here with Elon Musk moving away from Tesla and getting into his newest venture, Neuralink. So Neuralink was installed in the first human.
Yeah, which I thought they had already done this. I know they've done it on like pigs and monkeys, but I thought they had already done it in humans for some reason.
I did too, but now we're getting to
Or
the
maybe
point
I'm just
where-
thinking of like the first, like they got the approval for
Okay.
human trials. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But yeah, I mean, we can take. I haven't read this article in particular, but we could take a look at this NPR article real fast. And I'll let you lead this one here too.
All right. So Neuralink. Elon Musk says his ambitious plan to let humans wirelessly connect their brains with phones and other devices has taken a new step, announcing that the first human has received a brain implant from his Neuralink company. The person, who wasn't identified, is recovering well, Musk said via X, formerly known as Twitter. Initial results show promising neuron spike detection, he added, referring to the cellular activity between our brains and our nervous systems. The news comes months after Neuralink began recruiting potential human test subjects for its clinical trial. The company got the Food and Drug Administration approval for the trial last May, saying it wanted to enlist
That's
people
what I was
ages
thinking of.
22 and above who are living with quadriplegia due to spinal cord injury or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, the disease that robs people of the ability to control their bodies. Neuralink's...
Should we watch this video?
Yeah, I would.
Neuralink's clinical trial. This is straight from Neuralink.
It's going to be interesting. Here we go.
Thrilled to introduce Neuralink's Prime study.
Oh,
come on.
Yeah,
You're spoiling it.
I know, dude. I'm trying to. It won't let go.
It's that goddamn trackpad.
Hello.
Hello.
We're thrilled to introduce Neuralink's Prime study, the first clinical trial of a groundbreaking
Tom, would you do it?
You're goddamn right.
Would you really?
Swear to Christ. If he called me right now and said, hey, come on down, I'm flying you. See you, bro. I'm leaving. I'm not even joking.
I don't know. I'm scared of this shit. I mean, like, I think it's cool as fuck.
He made a great example. Imagine if Stephen Hawking had this.
That's pretty interesting.
And then I thought about it. What if my son had it? What if my son had it?
Yeah.
What if it unlocked the communication between him and I and his mother?
Yeah.
It's a risk I'm willing to take. For me, you know, I think about depression and anxiety.
It makes me excited, but it makes me scared as fuck at the same time.
It's scary, but I think about like the applications it could have for depression and anxiety, man. Like, being able to track my triggers being able to track what my dopamine and serotonin levels are like, maybe being able to help improve those and regulate them.
Maybe we've talked about this before, like seizures. What if you have a seizure, maybe like almost like an AED?
Yeah.
Where the Neuralink can like a quick little like shock to the brain to like neutralize the seizure.
For my son, that would be life-changing.
Bro, I mean,
It'd
like
be
I said,
life-changing for him.
I really would like this.
I would love
Elon Musk is he's a pioneer, bro.
He's a genius.
A pioneer. Like
I,
this guy's brain. He's not from Earth.
So much, dude. Like
he's not from Earth.
I'm not thinking it would make him talk or whatever, but even if my son could just, if he had that, it interacts with my phone and it tells him
like we
I'm
talked
hungry.
about earlier. He could look back to you.
Yeah, like he could. Like, hey, buddy, like, do you want some ice cream? And on my phone, it could come up like,
yes,
no, or yeah,
kinda like Stephen Hawking, like you were saying, like Stephen Hawking.
Or I'm really sad right now, and like maybe he's crying. Well, what's wrong? You know, I'm just really sad right now. I saw something on TV, but I'm okay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or no, I'm scared. It's dark, and I would like you to lay with me.
Yeah,
it would eliminate so much guesswork. But I've understood why it's language for a while, so I kind of get that. But just it would be so cool as a parent who's never heard. I've heard him babble, but I've never heard his voice.
Yeah.
Because the voice isn't just what you hear. The voice is who you are as a person. Being able to finally see him have a voice, even if it's just on this, it would just, I think, be, how do I substantiate this? Like, you know, like how they say, like, it's a gift from, some things are a gift from God.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could finally say it's not just God doing these things. God empowered people to give a voice to someone. God empowered someone who would never be able to walk. And then the question becomes, is God one being, or can God be these people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not too religious, so I would have to deflect that conversation to somebody else. But let's see what they say, man.
See what they say,
dude. This shit excites me, but it
does.
scares the shit out of me.
It's
at the same
nuts.
time. Let's see.
Hello. We're thrilled to introduce Neuralink's Prime study.
If you would sign up for the recruiting, I'm curious to know. Let us know in the comments, because, like I said, this shit is exciting, but it scares the crap out of me.
The first clinical trial of a groundbreaking experimental device that could help transform the lives of people with paralysis.
Precise robotic.
Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts. This is made possible by placing a small, cosmetically invisible implant in a part of your brain that plans movements. The device is designed to interpret your neural activity so you can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking about moving. No wires or physical movement are required. By participating in the Prime study, you'd be helping to redefine the boundaries of human capability. If you've been living with quadriplegia from a spinal cord injury or with ALS, you may qualify for the Prime study. We'd love to share more with you and get you on board. Visit our website today to learn more and to submit your application.
Okay, so I gotta say, if I was a quadriplegic or had ALS, 100% I'd sign up for this shit in a heartbeat. I'd be like, oh, there's a chance. But like me being able,
Able-bodied.
I was gonna say, how would the left say it? Able-bodied?
Thank you for asking me how would the left say it.
Yeah. Yeah, so if I was an able-bodied, I'd be for sure all over this. Actually, dude, so I just saw a video. Let me see if I can find this video. I'm all about videos because
Dude, how cool would it be to like have it interface with like an Xbox, and like I could play NBA 2K with Wyatt on like a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like that'd
That's
be
a lot of
sick. And he
freaking
could like talk
controls.
shit to me like, I just whooped your ass. I got LaMelo Ball, motherfucker.
All right,
Like,
so this is I haven't watched this. I've only seen like 2 seconds of it. Why won't it pause? Just let me freaking pause this so I can switch it over. So apparently this is a monkey with Neuralink. And is he typing? It looks like he's typing. Hold on. Oh.
Doing the demos because they.
Elon Musk is explaining.
The monkeys actually enjoy doing the demos because they get the banana smoothie and it's kind of a fun game. So, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like we care a great deal about animal welfare, and I'm pretty sure like our monkeys are pretty happy, you know. So as you can see, quick decision maker on the fruit front. The monkeys actually enjoy doing the demos because they get the banana smoothie and it's kind of a fun game. So, I guess the point I'm trying to make is like we care a great.
I'd love to see the background of this, like the whole setup process, and like the monkey just looking at this computer, thinking, "Can I have snacks?" And he said, "Please." Monkeys know what the fuck "please" is, bro.
Monkeys are very intelligent. Man.
I get they're smart, but they have manners.
Fuck yeah, they do, dude.
What the fuck?
You've never seen like documentaries about monkeys? Like, there's a whole hierarchy, monkeys, and like shows of respect and like, bro, it's nuts. Like, I've watched some YouTube shit about monkeys. Like when I've been like Friday night at 1 a.m, you know what I mean? Just kind of like
I'm gonna
zoned
be
out.
fucking deep in some Google tonight,
dude. Like at zoos, it's like non-existent.
What's that?
The hierarchies. But in the wild, what they've captured, monkeys in zoos versus monkeys in the wild are completely different in terms of like their societal and social hierarchies. But I think it's because in the wild, the monkeys recognize that they are able to roam and they're able to make like, quote, kingdoms and shit like that. And in the zoo, they're confined and they know they are. Like if you see a monkey in a zoo, dude, they're miserable. They're miserable because they're not able to be out, you know? And I fucking hate zoos. I do. I don't know how you feel about zoos.
I'm not a fan of zoos either.
I think that zoos are the most degrading thing that there are.
So I think zoos would be fine for animals that needed rehabilitation. Like they found them in the wild and they brought them in and they rehabilitated them, and maybe they wouldn't survive in the wild. Yeah. But just going and capturing perfectly healthy animals and putting them in.
It's sad, dude.
These small little like fucking like tigers and lions like roam vast areas of land.
They migrate, dude.
And, yeah, but I mean even their territory is huge, and to put them in an area, even like I don't know, even if it's something relatively big that we would think is kind of big, like a 6-acre plot.
Well, I mean like an area as long as this street, let's say.
That's still not huge.
That's huge to us though. Like if we had a yard that big,
it'd be all over
it. Lit.
I'd be riding 4-wheelers and shit.
Absolutely.
But imagine you can never go outside of that.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at, dude. Like it's sad. Like I loved the first time I took Wyatt to the zoo. Like seeing Wyatt at the zoo the first time, him seeing the animals was so cool because he was so into it and like he was like laughing and stuff. And I was laughing because I never thought about it before. But then like I'm roaming and thinking about like Wyatt stuck in the wheelchair kind of has always fucked with me. But then like I saw, I'll never forget this, man. I saw a gorilla and he was just like laying there. And I was like, I thought about all those gorillas I've seen on National Geographic and YouTube videos that are like,
and they just look
run in the
miserable,
jungle
bored.
and they're like beaten and like just like they're living.
Yeah.
And that gorilla wasn't living.
Looks
dude.
sad.
He was existing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't think anyone should just have anything should just have to exist. I think that you're put here to live.
They should put Neuralink in all those animals.
They absolutely should.
So that way they could tell them like what they're thinking. Could they do it in like a giraffe?
Dude, how lit would that be?
Could you talk to a fucking giraffe, bro?
How crazy would that be?
That would be wild.
Bro, imagine talking to like a tiger.
Dude, imagine this. Avatar. Imagine you could fucking have a Neuralink and you could have an elephant, bro, with Neuralink, and you could just like summon your elephant for a ride. Just by fucking thinking about it, you just send a fucking text message to your elephant via your brain and be like, bro, I need picked up. kind of like an Uber.
Yeah.
Bro.
That'd be crazy.
Oh my God.
But think about the conversations you could have too.
Yeah, if I could talk to a giraffe, I'd be like, bro, like, how's the weather up there?
Yeah. Or like the elephant. Elephants are very compassionate
They're
and
intelligent
beings. And like if you had a Neuralink and you like a Bluetooth, like
Bro, are
you
we about
matched
to be
with-
the fucking wild thornberries?
That'd be crazy. Eliza, bro. Her secret was she could never reveal that she could talk to the animals, though. Only Darwin knew. That was her gorilla or her little chimpanzee, excuse me.
Yeah.
Only Darwin knew.
Are we
And
about
then
to
in
be
the
wild
movie,
thornberries?
in the movie, she had to tell Debbie that she could talk to the animals, and so she lost her ability, right? But did she really? Because she was so empathetic, she understood them.
Dude, what the there's a ton of movies about it.
Yeah.
I know you've seen these movies where like space travel type shit.
Yeah.
Or even no, like imagine just Planet of the Apes. The apes can fucking talk to us.
Yeah, they can.
Imagine we go to war with fucking apes.
It was that goddamn James Franco's fault. It was his fault. He unleashed the canister.
That's what. See, some of this shit is why
James
Neuralink.
Franco's an asshole.
So all right, so Neuralink excites me for reasons like the paraplegic, ALS, shit like that. But it scares the fuck out of me for reasons like that, and for the simple fact that your brain is now hooked to your goddamn phone, and your phone has a cellular signal that broadcasts to towers that can be hacked.
That's true. You can be hacked. That's
what
gonna
if
be a
somebody
whole other
hacks
thing.
your fucking brain? I mean,
There's a whole movie about that.
It's not only, not only are we being hacked by social media and news and everything else that we see around us that influences our fucking thoughts, but to actually be infiltrated into your brain directly.
There's a whole movie about that.
I'm sure there is.
It's with Keanu Reeves. It was made in the 90s. It was called Johnny Mnemonic. And it's a whole thing about that. He would upload data to his brain. And he would take it places, and he would and he'd download it and upload it and all that shit. And then it was crazy as fuck, dog.
Isn't that what that one story?
No, that's Harrison Barragan.
Yeah, I know, but wasn't that something similar?
Harrison Barragan, what that was about was they lived in a future where people that were like everyone's special, right? Everyone has their own like thing.
Oh yeah, and it slows them down.
Slows them down.
It's
Like if they're really athletic, it made it so they couldn't be athletic. If they could dance really well, they'd have like things on their legs so they couldn't like
that's
dance.
Right. But yeah, even
Harrison
shit like
Barragan
that.
said, "Fuck that."
But yeah, I mean, Neuralink could like make that a reality.
It definitely could.
That shit's scary to me, bro.
And think about this too, like talking about hacking the brain. How far can they go with that? So someone dies.
Is equity even closer? Oh, go ahead.
What do you mean equity?
Instead of equality, equity.
That's a thought-provoking thing.
But yeah, go ahead. Finish what you were gonna say.
So what if someone dies?
I think I know where you're going
But
with
they
this.
upload their conscious to Neuralink.
Bro, you never die.
So you never die.
I
but
want to live forever. If that would be the case, I would live forever.
Think about like you have a
I've thought about
best
this.
friend who died, but he had Neuralink. You could interface with him and still talk to him. But is it that person or is it Neuralink using generative AI to be your friend? You know what I mean? Like, or your mom or your dad.
This gets into a deep question because are our thoughts our genuine thoughts?
Absolutely. No one else can have the fucked up brain that I have.
Yeah, but are your thoughts, did you come up with these thoughts or did your environment influence your thoughts?
It definitely, the environment influences the thoughts.
All right, but here's where I'm going with that. Your thoughts are influenced by your environment, everything around you.
They are.
Is AI not the same thing?
AI is influenced by everyone across the world.
No, but I'm saying if you have your own AI program Neuralink.
Yeah. Then AI is influencing my thoughts too.
Well, no. But your thoughts are influencing the AI.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true.
Which is basically what our brain is doing anyways. It's taking our own experiences and generating our own personalized result.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But it's not an artificial intelligence because it's actual brain matter.
But then
right?
think about this. is it artificial intelligence? Because it could be argued that this is a simulation.
Bro, The
The
I'm
Matrix
right there
was
with
a
you.
fucking documentary, dude.
I'm right there with you.
I guarantee it was.
To me, I don't see
any way that this isn't.
So I don't see a vast difference. I don't see much, if any, difference between a computer chip and our brain.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The only thing I see different is that new generations come out and the chip is improved on, right? So when's our chip going to be improved on? And
Listen,
is Neuralink the next iteration of that chip?
I don't think so. And I think you can only get so unless we have a new discovery in the form of like atomic like subparticles, like
Okay.
because it's already to the point now where the transistors within these chips are the size of like an atom.
Okay.
You can't get much smaller than that.
No.
Unless you get to subparticles where you're talking gluons, quarks, shit like that, where you can have transistors that are that microscopic.
That you have to view with a quantum microscope, essentially.
So if there's a breakthrough on that scale, I think we're limited as far as how good our technology
But what would
can
that
get.
do?
What would what do?
A subatomic particle as a transistor. What would that actually improve in this phone?
Quantum process. There's quantum computers that are.
But what would that mean for this? What would that mean for this phone?
It could process so much information all at one time.
But how would I apply that?
You could fucking do trigonometry and build a house in your brain. Well, all right. So on your phone,
Yes.
on your phone, on
There's
your
not
phone,
much more
probably
to
not
do.
much.
Exactly.
On your
There's
phone,
not much you
probably
can
not
do.
much. I mean, there probably you could process humongous equations. You could probably get really close to finding the end of pi.
So,
within,
but that begs the question: would it have any application for you and I, or would it have an application for Elon Musk? For you and me, it's not really going to do much. But for Elon Musk, it could find the answer to pi.
I think it wouldn't do much for us because we are limited right now. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe if we did have that tool, maybe we could figure out something to do with it.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I didn't have a screwdriver, and I wouldn't know how to unscrew a screw or some shit. You know what I'm saying? But with the screwdriver, I'm like, oh, I can use this to do this.
Yeah. And then with the Neuralink, if it gets that, it could literally be like the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, where he takes that pill and his mind's not bound anymore, or that shitty
Everything
Scarlett
slows
Johansson
down.
movie Lucy.
Yeah.
Like that would be just so crazy though. Like, and even think about like if you had that Neuralink and if I had that Neuralink and you had a Neuralink, we could connect. You're here on Myrtle, I'm over there off of 84. We could set up a meeting and it could go to like a fucking blank room. And then we could design the room and
Almost like VR.
And like, hey, I know you got basketball with Gianni tonight and Meg's with Wyatt. I just laid Wyatt down. Let's build this room real quick and let's chat about what we're gonna do our podcast on.
Okay, now let's say we have that quantum computing power in our Neuralink. We have that conversation in less than a second.
Yes. Literally, like
we could have a full conference in less than a second.
I could
because
literally be
we
working
would
a car
think
deal. I could be doing a car deal and you could be fixing a thing and like, oh shit, boom, right back to
we
it.
could
But
have
we had an hour
we could have this whole podcast, hour and a half we're going on in less than a second.
That'd be so wild. Like the applications for it are staggering. But we talked about earlier being hacked and shit. Do the benefits outweigh the risks? I think they do.
But I think with great risk comes great reward.
All right, Uncle Ben. So Spider-Man's uncle said.
I know. I mean, he's got a point, though.
He died.
but not because he took a big risk.
Yeah, you're right. No, Peter Parker took the big risk by not the dude like to stop him from robbing someone.
Yeah.
Fuck Spider-Man. Anyway, yeah, we got real deep into that. Neuralink, it blows my mind that they tried it on chimpanzees as well, because they are like essentially almost as intelligent as us. They just don't have the speech pattern.
In the fucking hierarchy of
They're in our realm.
They're next up, basically.
I thought porpoises were next up.
Aren't those like sea mammals?
Yeah, they're dolphins.
So like, yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying is as far as
mammals,
like
you're saying.
Well, no, because a dolphin is a mammal.
Oh, you're talking land-based animals.
Like a homeos.
They're
I don't know
homo,
the fucking
they're
technical term.
We're Homo sapiens. They're Homo something. They're not homos. Not all of them. Maybe some of them.
Some
are.
of them probably are.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
If Caesar wants to love Koba, let them love each other.
Yeah.
You know? But the other thing that's kind of cool about the Elon Musk and Neuralink is that, as we've seen with his products, they only get better. And they're only going to continue to get better. So this is right now applicable to people with ALS and people with quadriplegia. What about people with speech disorders? What about mutes? What about deaf? What about blind?
Yeah, I mean, this is a prototype.
Could this repair shit in people?
I don't see why it couldn't. I mean,
if someone's blind and has never seen, and they get that put in, and in a year it's repaired enough of the shit back there by sending certain things in there, like signals, synapses, repairing things, one day that person could wake up and see. How fucking trippy would that be?
That's what I'm saying.
Guy?
It's so exciting, but it's so scary at the same time.
It is scary, but I mean, we live in an uncomfortable world, and I think that that's by design.
You know what I really hope what we talked about earlier about like being able to upload your
consciousness,
yes, into a computer. I hope that I see that in my lifetime.
I would love to,
because I know a lot of people who say, "Oh, I wouldn't want to live forever. Oh, I would hate to
They're
live forever."
They're fucking lying.
I mean, they may not be lying. Like I could understand. Like once you get older, like a lot of the people you love die. The newer generations, they're not as close to you as the generations that, like your kids or your friends or your parents, like your immediate generations right after you. So like your grandparents, your great-grandparents, or your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. They're not going to be as close to you and as connected to you as your kids or your parents or your friends that are in the same generation as you. So, and then once you're, sometimes the kids die before the parents, and then your parents die before you, and then your friends die, and then I could understand how it would be kind of lonely. Even despite that, I am so excited about just the future, and just because there's still so much stuff that I don't know about. What's going to happen in the future? Are we going to be interstellar? Are we going to be interplanetary, intergalactic? Like, I want to know how shit like Neuralink evolves and plays out, and just kind of the utility of it. Like, there's just, the future is so fascinating to me, bro. Like,
it's going to be an interesting, the next 25 years are going to be very interesting.
I'm 35. I hope that I make it to 85 to see this. I hope my body lasts that long, because imagine what happened in 50 years.
It's either it's going to be crazy or we're all going to be dead.
I mean, if we're all dead, that's still pretty crazy. So.
Well, no, what I'm saying is either we live to see something revolutionary happen, or we die because world leaders couldn't put their small dick problems behind them and just leave well enough alone. I think within the next 10 years, there's going to be another world war, and it's just going to wipe out humanity.
They said that 10 years ago, too.
They did say that 10 years ago. They did. They said it 20 years ago. They said it 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But do we got anything else to talk about tonight?
I mean, we do, but we've been going for over an hour and a half. So, I mean, I feel like
we want you guys wanting more.
Yeah.
So don't forget, in the comments section, We need 5 people to tell me that they want me to go to East Palestine and drink the water. If we get 5, I will email the mayor of East Palestine, introduce ourselves, and say we run a podcast.
We'll just go down there and
we
find
want to
somebody's
go down.
house.
Well, what I want to do is I want to get this guy. I want to interview him. I want to get to know him.
Interview the mayor.
And I want to go over.
Oh my God.
In his home, and I want to pour water out of the sink and just drink it and be like, "Bottoms up, baby."
Oh,
and then
that's
chase it with
brave.
Coors Light.
Listen, I won't be doing that. Y'all can comment. That's for Tom. That's Tom's mission. I'm not doing that shit.
Anthony in no way will be involved in that other than taping me.
I will be behind the camera
and possibly taking me to the hospital.
Yeah,
after.
I will be the driver. I am not drinking the water.
Dude, that'd be crazy. What
And
if
then-
it like unlocks like something in my brain and I become like Bradley Cooper in Limitless?
We're gonna need you to get Neuralink, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You might need Neuralink after that.
I very well could need it. I don't know.
But and then also if you would be down to be on the what is it
the Neuralink train,
the Neuralink trial, yeah. If you're down for that, let us know too, because
you know where we stand now. Let's see where you stand.
yeah, I stand in the middle because I think I would try it if necessary, but until I see more about it and the more people take it on and see some results, I would have to pass for now. But I'm not opposed to trying it in the future.
I'm not either.
But either way, if you made it this far, we very, very, very much greatly appreciate it, because hour and a half, hour 40 minutes is a long time to sit here through video, and we enjoy these conversations, and we hope you enjoy it too. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you. Peace.